Wait, not yet, not yet.
Oh, oh yeah. No problem.
Wait, not yet, not yet.
Oh, oh yeah. Okay, it was connected already. Okay. Kara, you can hear me? I think it's okay. I'll start now. Okay, so
Okay.
good evening, everyone. Just want to just welcome everyone back to this second live stream that I'm doing with Finerty Academy. The purpose of today's live stream is like a continuation of what we were doing last week. Last week we were using Claude AI to build an app. We're thinking about using a retirement app as a first idea for financial advisors to consider what they can do. If let's say they want to provide certain services to their clients around the idea of retirement, and everyone's a different portfolio mix, but you want to do something that's very customized to maybe your own philosophy as a financial advisor. So it's very useful to have that, being something that is useful for your client because you put your own philosophy onto whatever that is. Okay, so before we begin and go into every item here, please do click on the like and subscribe button so that you can catch us on the next iteration. Next week I'll be coming back. But there are two others who are also doing their sharing tomorrow, and I think another one on this Thursday, so later this week. I'll get you the exact date afterwards. But remember, we're just going to do this for the month of March, really just to share a lot of knowledge. And we really want you to, through this, for me, I think the next session that we'll be running that course is on the 24th of March, as well as on the 30th of March. And I believe April 27 and April 28th. Right, so in that course, what I'll be covering is very similar to what I'm doing now. What I'm doing now is going to be in a very short, compressed 1 hour. But that one will be, guided, including how to install Claude, which is not easy, especially if you're a Windows user. And then how do you set up your own system, your folders, and so on. Right. So without further ado, I think today, different from last week. Last week I had slides to sort of run through some of the basic principles about how you can think about coding, how you can think about prompting. If you haven't seen last week's episode, you can go back and the slides are there. We can also send it to you separately. But going back to that course, just one more time, just a quick shout out. If you are free on the 24th of March or 30th of March, or April 27, 28, you're available to try this out. You really want to try this out, do contact Kara. Kara in this YouTube video, I think at the bottom, you should be able to find her contact, or you can go to Finity's website. Contact details are all there. Okay, so without further ado, I'm going to maybe just ask you to do a quick sound check. If any one of you are online now, I see some of you actually responded. Hi, can you just let me know, maybe using a live chat? I'm also monitoring the live chat. Do say hi and let me know whether you can actually see what we are typing, what we are saying. I'm going to go to the live chat and say hello as well. Let me just send a message. Okay. And if you're in the live chat, can you let us know whether can you hear me? Can you hear me okay? Is it audible? Everything's okay? Testing 1, 2, 3. Can you hear me? Okay, we seem to have a bit of a problem with the audio on the YouTube. Let me just make sure that it's working. Just give us a second. Okay. There might be a bit of echo. Let me just test out the sound. Just give us a second. Okay, I can hear myself on on that side. Okay, now it's okay. Yeah, sounds good. Okay. So I'm seeing that it's okay. It's working in the chat. If you can't hear me, please let me know. Same thing, Kara. Okay, all good. Okay, so with that, I think I will come and start sharing my screen now. Give me a moment. I'm actually quite excited to share this with everyone because I think there's really so much potential that we're doing nowadays, especially with AI. But it's really about learning. And I'm going to show you everything today about exactly what I'm doing and guide you through step by step. Okay, so today, instead of using chat, I'll be using the second function, which is co-work. And I will show you the entire thing, but maybe it's a bit like Yan can cook, right? sometimes if you remember those cook shows, they actually prepare some of the ingredients ahead of time. So what you're seeing on the screen, right, is my prepared ingredients, even the finished dish. It's because some of these things do take time to run. This second tool, co-work, takes a little bit more time. I'm going to show you how I run it in real life, in real time. Start one process here. So if you're using this and you're starting from scratch, I have this app folder created called the insurance product app. I did this beforehand. And what I do for the first step is basically to type in my instructions, right? So I have this instruction that said next week, which is today actually, I am going to run a course on insurance product comparison tool. And I want to use co-work to actually do the processing to build the tool. So what I've done here is visualization or CI. So it really depends on what are the things you're using it for. I also listed out a few possible insurance companies. List out as many as you want. For those who are broker and you are, managing multiple different policies, this such a tool will be very useful as well. I then said, okay, because some of these policies are available online, okay, find what you can download. If you cannot download, give me the link. Right, so I want you to continue working on this, tidy up the folder, and everything should be organized. I want you to write a long prompt to create the tool. Okay, so after that, I want everything to be put into a folder and subfolders. Basically, this is me giving it instruction to make it very clear what I'm trying to create. Okay, I'm going to start this off just to give you a sense of what happens the moment you click on the button Go. And this app here is again Anthropic's Claude. With the paid version, the Claude Pro version, I think you should be able to carry this out already. I'm starting by using Opus 4.6. There are other models available. 4.6, Sonnet 4.6 is the one that you use for most daily tasks. But when you want to, maybe at the start of every project, and you got all these ideas you want to put out there, right? You will use something like Opus 4.6 to just plan out. But as you can see from my screen, it does consume more of the usage limits. Okay, I have some messages coming in. Let me just do a quick check. There's no sound again. Testing 1, 2, 3. Can you hear me? Okay. Let me just try one more setting. Maybe it could be my Bluetooth. Just make sure that my laptop is not connecting to anything by accident. Kara, can you let me know? Can you hear me now? Testing 1, 2, 3. Can you hear me now? Okay, I'm going to switch back to the other screen. Mota said can hear you, but I cannot. So someone can hear me. Someone's nickname is the same as my, can do the same. Okay. So I see some messages at the bottom. I'm sharing my screen, so I'm gonna, okay. If there's no sound, let me know. Please do let me know in the chat. And Kara, who is monitoring the chat, will let me know also. Someone asked, can chat do the same? ChatGPT probably can do something similar. But co-work, the really interesting thing here is that co-work does a lot of the work very autonomously, right? Like automatically. I think the nearer, just to maybe put down here for Botak Roy, right? The better, closer alternative is something like Manus AI, which is able to do orchestrating of all the work. Okay, I want to come back here, and in a moment we'll come back and I will toggle back and forth through the windows. But you can see here, all the last, I don't know, 2-3 minutes, I was doing the sound check and I was talking to Botak Roy here to reply. Botak Roy, who just thanks for letting me know that you have sound. While that is happening, actually there's a lot of work that's being done here. I think by now everyone understands the thought process. Okay, so this is not something that's new. ChatGPT is something like that. All of them go through what you call a chain of thought, right? So that chain of thought basically reorganizes, in this case, it reorganizes the plan. Okay, actually takes my very messy words and then they write it nicely, write it neatly here. Okay, so then they said, let me understand the workspace and understand step by step. Okay, then they say, okay, done. They finish the planning. So step number 2, they're going to create a new task list. Okay, here gets a bit scary because of all the JSON format, the technical format. But don't worry, you normally don't even need to open this, right? I'm just showing you behind the scenes what is happening. They created a task list. They then created a directory. Directory is how you organize the folder. Okay. Here they write down a new code. very simple one-line code, and they created a new sort of structure, the different folder for the Great Eastern, AIA, and FWD. I'm not endorsing anyone in particular, but because I mentioned those three, I think they pick up those three. Okay, so then they went on to search. Over here, you can see they went on to search for those PDF, all from a single prompt. Everything I just said in one go, and it was able to do that. Okay, so Jenny said got sound, got visual. Thanks, Jenny. Thanks a lot for that. Because sometimes we are running on the devices, we can't tell. Okay, so continuing here, here is the reason why I went to do that Yan Can Cook thing, where I basically prepared the content on another comparison chat, another co-work chat beforehand, because here, right, the best thing that they can do is they give me a download link. So you can see they're writing a file now. The file will contain all the PDFs. Sorry, the links, PDF links, but not the PDF itself. So this is something that is a bit of a limitation, not because the tool cannot download the PDF. They are putting the guardrails on themselves. Instead of having a tool where everybody can just go in and download everything automatically, right? This thing is literally something that they are blocking. So the insurance company website block it from this sandbox. They don't allow the downloading of the PDF to be done by a computer. But as a person, you go in and click it, no problem, you can download it. Right, so over here on the right side, you can see that the file has already been created. As the different files are being created, like the instruction was created, you can start to view it, right? You can, and then the links, which you're going to view, yeah, fantastic. So each of these link now, I can go and click on it, and I can hopefully, let me see, hopefully get a real link, because when I was doing this, some of the links were hallucinated or they were outdated. And more often than not, it's outdated. But you can see here, okay, this is up to date health insurance from Great Eastern. I'm sharing my full screen, so you should see what's on my PDF screen as well. But let me move it back to the site, and I won't be doing this one by one on screen now, because everyone here, you are here for only a very short time. So I will tell you that what I did was that I went on to click on every link here and downloaded all the files. And this is the part where I switched to my earlier version here, where I've already, here is as if I'm like a chef, right? I've already downloaded all the files, right? Okay, give me a moment. It's a bit, so the same thing happened the last time round. It gave me a PDF download guide. It created the tool. It also gave me the co-work prompt. So none of the PDFs were downloaded, but what I asked it to do, and this is something a bit more beyond, I actually asked it to navigate using Chrome to automatically open up all the pages for me. So I will show it to you now how that works by opening up Chrome again. So Chrome is from Google, like Safari is from iOS, from Apple, Chrome, Firefox, Mozilla. These are different just browsers. How you're watching YouTube is using a browser. So a lot of you, I think, would be you either use Firefox or you use Chrome, right? So with Chrome, right, there's this Claude MCP, something that basically is able to browse the internet on your behalf, right? So let's say I just go to google.com, and this is how I normally navigate as a human. I go to the address bar, I type in something, I go to the Google bar, insurance, Singapore, something like that. However, because this is connected to my co-work, I can actually tell it over here to open all the PDFs. So let me try that now. Can you open all the PDF links for me in Chrome? So you see, after I do that, right, I'm going to take my hand away, show you that I'm not doing it. I have done this before the last time around. So the links are all still in the memory of this conversation. This is the pre-baked, pre-baked chicken. So it comes out all cooked, perfectly cooked. It's not the one I'm cooking live to you, to show you, but what you should see happen is that you'll load all the PDF, and then yes, as you should see now, it's actually, my hands are here, it's opening up the Chrome window for me, and this is agentic software working for you. The agents are opening up the different tabs, and my job as a human later on is to download one at a time. So basically, why I still have to do that is because Claude, in a way, is preventing people from having unfettered access, and in some ways unfettered access to everything. Just download all the things. So I need to give you permission. I give you permission for that one file. Let me go back and check. It should have done it for more files. Okay, so it's asking me for permission. So now they do it systematically. One website at a time, they ask for permission, but subsequently they should be able to open everything. Okay, let me just check. So they're opening up one insurer. You can see they will open up the links for me that will go through one insurer at a time, right? So they explain everything to me. And if I go back here, okay, they actually started opening up in a different window. So they open up two windows. But over here, Great Eastern had other windows that they open up, they open up, they open up. And you can see that they are working on new tabs. So now it's in AI mode. It's taken over to open up the tabs. And what I did beforehand, okay, see again, my hands are here. I want to gesture using my hands next to my face to show you that this is not me opening up. There's no like my sons have went to sleep, so they're not opening up for me all the tabs. But by having Claude take over this part, typically if you have a large amount of work to do, you can now let it automatically do this automated. Go back away, take your coffee, come back, and then do the next step. You take a sip, and then we'll take the next step together. Okay, so it's continuing to open. What you will then do is basically download all the files into the same folder which I started with. So if you remember, I started this in a folder called Insurance Product App. Okay, let me go back to my other conversation. While this is happening, you can do it in parallel. Okay, go back to this app. This is the same app, same sequence, except that here it is still working on the previous work. So number one, if you remember, just to quickly recap, I said I want to have for the purpose of today's session, I gave the context. I'm going to be running a course on how to compare products using a tool that I want to create. Okay, so they say I want some sort of a comparison tool. I also want it to download the PDFs for me. Right, so everything that you saw happening here, as you can see, they're opening many windows. This is more than 10 windows open for me already. All this is part of the process for me to download the PDFs in a large amount. And actually, if I can show you my folder, very quickly here. It's a bit messy, but in my downloads folder, okay, let me close the other windows. Okay. Okay, so it's asking for AIA. If you see on the left-hand side, it's now asking for AIA insurance policy. So I give it permission to access AIA. It has finished opening up all the Great Eastern different policies. In my purpose is because I wanted to download as many as I need in order to build the app. If I have good PDFs, good data, I can build the app better. Okay, so that's what I'm doing now. And I will recap in a moment what I'm doing so far, because once the windows have been opened, and you see everything open all at one go, it's actually quite a lot of files that are automatically open for me. Right. So the last time round, what I did was, just to show you my screen. Okay, I understand that some of you are coming online now, or you might have missed out certain parts. So in a moment, I'll recap. Okay, but I just wanted to, for those who have been following up to this point, I just wanted to show you the amount of files that could be downloaded. So like accident had 2 different accident policies. CI had 3. Then hospitalization had 2 more. Life term 1, PA 2, and then retirement 2. Last but not least, savings got 3. This is for Great Eastern, for all the different policies that they put out in public. Okay, those are the files, the different folders that Claude is able to I didn't file this myself. It automatically filed everything away for me. So now for FWD, accident has 1, critical has 2, hospitalization 1, life term has 3, PA has 1, and retirement has 1. Right, so this is just all in one folder at first. And after the download is all done, I can ask Claude Cowork to tidy it up for me. Right? Okay, so just going back here, it's still doing the work now to download everything. But maybe just a quick recap one more time. Again, in order to run today's workshop, I basically gave it a prompt to say, I'm going to run a course. And frankly, I'm not an expert in this, right? I want you to now do the processing for me. I want you to build a tool for me, something I can compare. But before that, I must give it good data. So I said, okay, just because demonstration, we keep it to 3 companies. I just randomly came up with the 3. I think they were the ones that are most salient to me because I just received some documents from these three companies, right? So I said, I want you to download PDF and then maybe some for retirement, some of the PDF for the product comparison, for the product of accident, personal accident, maybe for hospitalization and so on. So based on this, it provided me a list of all the PDF links, but it couldn't download everything. So what you're seeing now happening while we are talking, right, is that I actually use another tool, which is basically agentic. It's able to download the files automatically for me and onto my browser. Then later I'll save it onto my folder. Okay, so what's the point of having all those PDF? I want it to be tidy, yes. But at the end of the day, today's the session is called, how do you create a tool that is able to do the comparison, right? Let me just check on the chat. Is there anything that I missed out so far? Yeah, so someone is saying now we are just prompting Claude to download all the PDF. Yes, that's what Miss Kaching, you're right. I'm just downloading all the PDF because there's a large number and I didn't want to click one by one. Anything that is repetitive, anything that you need to click and do and again repetitively on a digital device, you can use Claude to do it automatically for you. Okay, PDF downloaded. Now I have enough data to create the tool. Okay, so everything is done. Here's a summary of what Claude has built for me. So firstly, they downloaded, or rather they have all 36 brochures. And now I believe it's going to the last one, FWD. Okay, so I just gave it permission. So it's finished downloading all the AIA and all the Great Eastern, and now it's doing FWD. We continue with our conversation here first. Okay, second thing is, other than the 36 brochures, they have the content, they have the knowledge from those 36 brochures. And because it's publicly available information, I've not had to key in any login details. There's no personal data, no private data that's been captured so far. Okay. The second thing that it automatically created for me is this interactive comparison tool, which on the left-hand side, I believe it's this one, right? They created the index.html. Index is basically just say homepage lah. Anytime you got something that's index.html, it's the homepage, and everything in the backend is all the code of everything that you need to do. Okay. I also asked for something that's called a comprehensive core work prompt. I haven't tried this out. I really want to see how this works. But this one here, by right, it will also create the tool for me. Right? So there are multiple ways that can do this. But let's preview the index file first. Okay. So the index file over here should have a very simple version of the app, which I want to build to show you. It should tap on the HTML file as well. There you go. So we have the first version of this app now. I can also open it up in Safari. If you open up in Safari, you can see that it opens from the folder on my device. Now, what does this mean? This means that if you are a financial advisor, you're worried about sharing personal data, you really want to work on your local device as much as possible, right? So Claude Core Work that I was using, it works on the files that are in my folder. The app itself, it also is from my folder. That means nothing is being transmitted over the internet. And if you look at the link up there, it's file / user. That whole thing shows that this file is not available online. It's actually only on my device. Okay. Last week, we showed a different method where if you use Claude, the chat function, you'll create a tool that you can publish online. And once you publish online, that link becomes open to anybody who can access it. Right. So different purpose, up to you what you want. Okay, but let's say now I want to look at maybe critical illnesses. You can see everything that I've put in previously, basically all the research files that I researched for, those PDFs I downloaded, has been put inside here. And they compare between Great Eastern, this is the one that they have, versus this one, versus this one. Okay, and the PDFs are also there. I can click on it and look at it one by one. So it also becomes a file that I can re-look at it. But you know what? I don't like this. I want to improve this further. And I will explain to you why and what you can do. It is really cool what you can do with it once you know how to improve it. Now, with this, I cannot upload the folders. I cannot choose which are the policies to compare, right? Let me change this a little bit. So what I can do is I can come back to Claude here and I say exactly what I said. I'm going to use another app here, which is called WhisperFlow. WhisperFlow is pretty amazing because it's able to capture my words directly in, and then once once whatever I say, it also tidy up a little bit, and then it allows me to not type so much. Okay, so I'm in the middle of talking a lot now, so because of that, it's easier for my mind to flow by voice. So I'm going to turn on Whisper Flow, and start talking about it. So I have the comparison tool ready, but the file doesn't quite do what I intend for it to do. I think I would like it to be able to accept uploading of the PDFs. I want the different aspects of the policy to be more salient. I think right now it only gives me very superficial information. I want information like the timeline, like the time horizon. Maybe I really don't understand what I need to be understanding in order to compare the policies well. So perhaps could you do a bit of research beforehand, and based on your research, find me a way to do two things. Number one, I want to be able to upload the PDFs of the specific policies to compare. Number two, I want it to be able to show me intelligently what are important things I need to be mindful of when I'm comparing the policies. Because right now, I feel that this comparison is too superficial. It leaves everything out. Like for example, if everybody has MediShield life integration, then that's not a salient point. But perhaps something like the ward coverage for the private hospital ward, how much is the deductible? That would be something that's useful for me to compare between the different policies, right? So can you think a bit more? And based on that, help me to have a comparison tool that can make a better decision. Okay, so now I said all that, right? It basically converts everything that I've said into this word here. So let me see. Okay, I will edit it very lightly. So I have the comparison tool ready, but the app doesn't quite do what I intended to do. I think I'll let it to, okay, so the rest of it is correct based on what I said. The starting, I think, was a bit jumbled up. Okay, I send in my instruction, and what it's going to do is it's going to go through that same process again of planning, how to interpret my instructions, then redo a plan. Based on the plan, it will come back and work on this. Again, this is a very straightforward system. It's not too complicated because I'm not asking for a lot of AI functions or a lot of dashboards, for example. This is a very simple, straightforward upload file, and then I will get a very simple sort of comparison. I don't like it, I rejig it. But what you notice here, right, in case you didn't notice it before, on the right-hand side, two things came up. So one is that now there's a web search connector. So web search, you understand basically at one point, most of the AI tools were not allowed to search the internet. They were worried what it would do to the web. Will it change the content there and over time cause a problem? I think most of that caution has been thrown to the wind for more than a year now. So web search is a default function. And not sure whether you notice it, but on the right-hand side, the web searches is actually increasing. It was 10 searches. Now it's going up. So every time it's searching here, it actually keeps track of the search over here, right? The last search produced 10 results, 10 results, 12 results, right? So the searches are being logged, which means that in a way you do have an audit process of what is being used over here. If you notice over here, there's also a file that's been created that actually produced sort of a date table to compare the premiums. It's taking a bit of time to load here, so we don't need it. I'm going to close it and let it run. The other thing that you might have noticed is at the bottom, there's this skills that just got loaded, right? I didn't have to say, come and think about it, come to brainstorm about it. No. So what happened was that it loaded up this skill, which is a tool from Claude. I think ChatGPT also tried to create this recently, but they now have a skill to guide the brainstorming process. Okay, so now because I asked it to plan and I asked it to come up with an improvement, it is now clarifying with me what's going on, what's the best thing. Okay, so how should the comparison tool work when someone uploads? Manual entry is smart. No, I don't want to have manual entry. I want it to automatically just upload. Okay, smart PDF reader. This pushes the ability of my app from something that's simple, just a static website, which is what I was having earlier on, a static website where I just click and I view it statically. This is still not improved yet. So this is a static. This is what I mean by a static website. everything is just displayed there. You still need to look around. You can't interact much with it. You're just downloading stuff. Okay. Having a PDF reader now allows me to upload files. I can then download files. Right? I can then maybe look at a table that's interactive. Okay. Coming back to what you see on the screen, I give my choices of what I want. There's a great choice. Okay, positive, but not over the top. Okay, so let me build a much smarter comparison tool. It also now shares with me what actually matters. And the current app, can't get it yet. For hospitalization, these are important things. For CI, these are important things, and retirement. Okay, I'm going to take it at face value now. Of course, everyone has their own unique way of advising their clients. So financial advisors with different priorities, and someone might say, okay, looking at the age of who their usual clients are, if they are always on the older end, then they might prioritize CI coverage, they might prioritize hospitalization. Then those who are younger, maybe prioritize on longer horizon retirement planning. So depending on how you want to fine tune, now with Claude Code, you can actually, or Claude Code work, you can do it up to you, right? It's really entirely up to you. So let me see what's happening. So they are still using the PDF skill. Okay, so previously they loaded the PDF skill. That was also here at the bottom. So the PDF skill is just a way to access PDFs. That's all. Okay. Okay, let me just check the YouTube site to make sure I didn't miss any conversation. So Tawan said, yeah, with one prompt, you can, by Whisper, you can do so many research. Yeah, that's true. So Whisper, just to show again one more time, is Whisper Flow. I don't think I should share with you my referral code, because if I send to you, actually, I also get 1 month free. But you can download this, you get 1 month free right away. I've been paying for the last 2 months. It really made everything go a lot faster for me. Type email also faster. Even when I WhatsApp people, my phone is also faster because it can be used on multiple places. Okay, so let's go back and check on the progress. Okay, this is still working. Never mind. It's taking a long time to create a new PDF, or rather a new HTML. Let's look at Chrome. I just want to show you the finished product dashboard. Yes, exactly what I expected. Can you see at the top, right? There's like a ton of different Great Eastern windows that are open. And it seems like all of them are not imagined. They're actually real files. And I believe it's to Great Eastern's credit. If you look at the link here, it's all very well structured, right? So their content is very well structured. Then same thing over to AIA. AIA is also very clear. It's all within the documents folder, then their products. So because of that, it's very easy for people or for a computer system like this to find the file. Okay, it might also be something that you're thinking about if you've got your own website, right? How do you arrange your documents such that not only humans can find, but also nowadays AI is searching like what I just showed you. So you need to make sure that AI is also able to search for the files very, very quickly to find what they need. And you won't have a lot of 404. 404 are basically when the website, they cannot find the link, so they imagine a link and they don't get it right. So here are some of the links here, because it's so well structured, they imagine it actually is accurate. Okay, so hallucination is kept to a minimum. The rest are all there. So basically what I did was to click on the download button manually, because they technically can do it, but you need to prompt and they will download one at a time anyway. So I just downloaded like that. All of the folders, also all of the policies, I downloaded everything, and then after that, I simply got it to tidy up. Okay, I won't go and download this now because I've already done it once, but perhaps let me just close it all. Okay, I just close everything. Let me go back to Claude now and see the progress. Okay, cool. Then we got to see this thing. Okay, so you can see this thing at the bottom that says compacting our conversation. So what has happened now is that it's built to a point where it has hit the context window. Context window is basically this thing with AI. It's like how much working memory does a human have? If I talk to you for 1 hour and I'm lecturing something, I'm teaching you something, after a while you're going to forget a lot of the things. So what you might do is you might start to write down notes and summarize the last 1 hour of lecture. What did the person say so far? Your summarized notes is a summary. It's a smaller version compared to your whole 1 hour of lecturing. But the summarized notes, if you write it well, then it will help you to continue the second hour or next week's lecture, next week's lecture. So that's what compacting does. It basically summarizes, squeeze everything to a smaller list of things that it's supposed to have done, and you can see something happen on the right side of the window just now. It compresses so that it can continue the next round of conversation. If you're using ChatGPT, you're using Claude Chat, the window is slightly smaller. Right? So co-work and code, the window is massive. So because of that, you can create a lot of documents, and you can work for a longer period of time. Okay, so I'm going to see whether I can switch back to my previous app. So the previous one here, this process, I think it managed to go a bit further, and it looks a bit more interesting. So let me see whether I can load it up here. So here again, 31 PDFs all open. Let me open up the app. I believe this looks slightly better. If not, we can go back to the other one, but frankly, most of the work is already done. Yeah. So over here, what I had in mind was something I can drag and drop and compare, right? So let me click here. So previously we downloaded all the insurance policies, right? So let's say we take two of the PAs, okay, FWD's PA, personal accident, and let's compare with, let's say, AIA's PA. There's two of them. I just take the one with higher, bigger. It's a bigger file. KB is bigger. We compare the products. So something's happened here. Let me see what's happened. It basically compared both of them. It extracted the information, and then the word hospital, they did a, oh, this is not right. No. They basically have, okay, I see what's happened. This one here, let me explain what's happening with this version that I created. It didn't do everything automatically, but it did a few steps because this is, let me just go back to the top and explain what's happening. So this is one way they can compare, which I don't really like. So I'll come and change this in a bit. What it has done is literally taken both, and they're literally comparing the entire summary, right? So they extracted from FWD the content, they extracted from AIA the content, okay? And then they started checking which are the common words. Like hospitalization appeared 5 times on product B, but none on product A, and so on. And then now the idea that they are, at least this version of it, right, is to be able to copy this entire prompt. By right, I should be able to then paste it back here. Let me try that. The copy button didn't work as well. Okay, I just do a manual copy and press enter. It should be able to generate a good response to me to compare the products. But obviously, this means that my tool is incomplete the last time around. Okay, let's let it run for a bit. I changed my mind. And this is something you can do, right? I changed my mind. I don't want it to run. You can see at the bottom, you can actually stop it from running. So now I stop it from running because I believe this is not the way to do. I don't like the app, so I'm going to use Whisper again to change the app. The compare function doesn't quite work the way I want it to work. I'm referring to the compare.html app. I believe that what it should have done is to automatically do the comparison for me and not give me the prompt at the end. I do not want to see the extraction of the data, or that you can put in your backend. I do not need to see the prompt. I want you to just go straight into executing the prompt and showing me the output based on the prompt that is there. Okay, so again, I typed that out using Whisper. And maybe just to edit it a little bit, oh yeah, okay, they mentioned the compare.html file here. I throw it in. Okay, so it will hopefully now go in and change my compare.html app. So basically what I've done, just to very quickly recap, I've used a very simple prompt, which I believe all of you can understand. Let me just go back to the top. The simple prompt is, in my case, I'm running a course, but you can say, next week I'm going to create a product, or I want to create a product. You can verbally say, oh, this is verbal, right? I'm creating a product. I want you to create a product that will help me compare my company's the policies that we carry. I want you to maybe put a dashboard. I want you to have buttons inside that can adjust based on people's different preferences, their budget. how much they want to cover in terms of their premium, their deductibles. Uh, my philosophy is that people must always plan 5 years. So everything you want, you just throw it in here. It will be able to understand the context. You may need to have a few plugins, connectors, right? So based on what you put in, it will actually create your product for you. You may have already got the PDFs, so you don't need to do what I did. I had to download the PDFs, so you don't have to do that. And then you can build an app very easily from there. Okay. Uh, Let me just check whether there's any questions. I think we've come to a point where it's more or less complete. The comparison app should be completed from here. I will maybe take a pause and just to check and see if there's any question, Kyra, or anything that you want to just pop in. But I believe we have finished most of the tool. Let me just check on the other conversation. Okay, so both of them are improving. So this will take time. It won't immediately show the results, but suffice to say, you have seen today, what we've done today is basically how I can basically just use natural language, very simple language, very simple sort of explanation. How then can I go from an idea to a tool? Okay, this tool, like I just to recap again, it stays within your device. So when I am ready to work on it, I will actually navigate to a particular folder, and then from that folder, I will be able to so let's see over here, from the folder, I will then be able to house everything on my local device. So it never ever have privacy, private data that's being leaked out. That's very useful, especially when you got very private information that you have. And if you do come for the workshop later later this month or next month, we will go through how you can go from this all the way to deploying it on a website. That's more useful for those who are maybe you're creating a client onboarding app. You want something that the clients can actually access the services that you have, self-register and so on. Okay, so depending on the purpose of what you want, you can have one that stays on your device, like what we're doing today, or if you come for the workshop, we can also go one step further, where it will actually be an app that you can store online. That's where we'll bring in GitHub. We'll do a bit of coding, very light coding, but as you can see, most of the time, all this is actually whatever you are doing very simply using English that you can do. Okay, so I think that's the end of this session. Today will be a bit faster. Just wanted to check in with my colleague here, Kyra. Anything in particular to cover before we wrap up the session? Okay, let me just jump in and out around this tool.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. Thank you, Hao Jun. Okay. May I just check if there's any other questions from the floor? You have any questions from the floor for Hao Jun?
I see one message coming in from Botak Roy. Very powerful AI tool. Actually, this one, you are right, it's very powerful. He said it's very powerful tool, but for an insurance agent to this seems like a lot. Yeah, maybe a good way to hire a PA very skilled. Yes, you can actually, this makes a lot more sense for PA to actually run this. The PA will then, I don't know, you can not just run a tool, create a tool like this, but if let's say you're doing responses to clients, you're managing a renewal schedule, like how often you want to, so that you can focus on the relationship management, then your PA empowered by a tool like this can actually help you manage your schedule. We got another message here. May I know when Claude create I think you mean whether they're creating a local version or online version, uh, vanilla JS framework. Okay, so what I have here, I don't know what's the framework that they're using. I can just simply ask it. But this version, when I use it on Claude Cowork, it's meant to stay on my device. It's not meant to be published online. But let's try what Wong Yan Pan is asking. Uh, Let me try number one. What? Let me just copy that. Are you running the app on okay, so this is to understand what's the app run on. I think there's another supplement question. Also, what are you trying to do if yeah, will not be done by any other framework? Okay, I may need to get a bit more understanding on what Wong you are saying here. But yeah, there's a chance that what I'm doing is too basic and I need to go somewhere further. If you're looking at building other apps where you're okay, no framework like React and Vue, yes, then those require further coding. And within 1 hour, I don't think I'll be able to finish it up. This is meant to just be run on a local device. But let's ask it, if I want to be able to go all the way to create an app that I can share as a link to my colleagues, what are the next steps? So I think what I want to show you here is that Claude or most of the AI tools today, if you know your intention of what you want to do, you can explain it. It's not as technically challenging as in the past, right? So this one here is intended to be one, but if you want to go further, you can do further editing. Wong, I think I would love to have a conversation with you about embedding to do comparison. Actually, I've created a few projects where we're creating embedding. He's right, it's a very technical process. One way to get it to be done is to use some of what we call APIs, access point integration keys. Those will read the files for you and they can even process the files. But you can see, again, I'm not going to go through this. This is outside the scope of the 1 hour. We can go through this in the 1 day course. But for the purpose of a short, simple app that you're using, you definitely can build something on your own like this that does the comparison and refine it until you get what you want. And if in my case here, like you see this, you definitely want to deploy it, what you call deploy and hand it to someone else. Here, I believe, let me just try. I believe here they're using something very simple, so they shouldn't be able to process it um, all the way to conclusion. But let's try this upgraded version to see whether it's better. Okay, then I compare the policies. But if let's say you really want to build a full app, you don't have to learn how to do it as a full app. You can actually ask Claude in this case to give you the steps. And then after you're done, they give you a link. But if you don't like it, what we did last week is to go to chat. Chat was able to publish it as a HTML file. So with that, you can actually share it and also as a hyperlink. Yeah. Kyra, there's a question about details about the course. Maybe Kyra will help to answer that question and give you the details. I think there's also a Telegram group that you should join. We do post information there from time to time. Okay, I will let this run, but maybe just to check with my colleague here, Kyra, if there's anything else or that you want to ask about this app, you can also ask it in YouTube, in the YouTube discussion. Kyra, could you help to share some information in the YouTube chat? Okay, so just a quick shout out. Next week we'll be running part 3. Part 3 is slightly more complicated than this. I hope to be able to build a Claude financial health scorecard with you. What this does is basically, you know my process now already. After you've seen everything I do today, you know exactly what I'm going to do. What I'm going to do is I'm going to come back to Claude co-work and I'm going to actually just say, I'm going to have a course next week. I want to build an app with Claude Financial Health Scorecard. How would you do it? So then I will guide it. After I give the first initial prompt, something similar to this, I will then guide it. Let's build an app. If I want to build an app, what do I need? And then my job as a person, as a trainer especially, is to break it down to parts that I can explain to you as someone coming participating in my training course, so that you understand and can do it yourself. Part of what I'm trying to do is also to make it feel less overwhelming, less scary. A lot of this can be very overwhelming because if you're using AI for the first time and you're jumping in this, by the way, you're jumping into the deep end. But even if you've done simple prompting before, this is a bit more complex. You also have to understand maybe a little bit of what's happening in the back end, what you can do, what you cannot do. You cannot download the PDFs. I think you cannot do it automatically. You need to do it by hand. I believe in our our conversation here, Wong also pointed out some very good points. There are limitations. You can't do everything without technical knowledge. You can have a local copy. You may not be able to do it as a version that you can send to each other. You not be have an online version. There was also a very good comment here. I believe Botak Roy also mentioned, maybe just hire a PA who's very skilled. By any financial advisor friends will tell me the same thing. Actually, the hardest thing is not to hire another financial advisor because that one can train. But the hardest thing is to get a good EA, executive assistant, someone who really knows my style, can manage my calendar, can do all those things. Actually, it's really, really hard to hire someone. So if you do have someone, but they are not very productive yet, not as productive as you need them to be, but they're really good with people, you just need to give them a tool like this, a bit of light training, then they will be able to handle admin part, maybe even build a tool to handle their own admin part a lot better, right? Okay, so with that, I think details about the course, I will stop sharing over here. The details of the course, you can contact Kyra. Small little tip, let me just put in the tip over here. So if you actually typed in Kyra's number like this, 96979201. If you type in this way with the whatsapp.me and the 65 in front, this link will open the direct WhatsApp to her. Okay, that's all I have for tonight. Let me just want to check if there are any other things that you're interested in learning. Feel free to come back to this video and just drop a message here. We created a sort of schedule of 4 different financial advisor specific topics. We think that these tools can be useful, but if you have something you want to learn, by all means, you put it in there, we will read it, and then we will try to maybe weave it into the course, or rather this workshop, or even the course later. So please type in the chat any other things that you want to learn. Okay?
Yep. Okay. Thank you, Hao Jun. Thank you for such a wonderful time. And thank you for all the audience that has stayed through with us for the last 1
Thanks,
hour.
everyone.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Can maybe I'm just very curious.
Mm.
Can you guys type 2 if this is your second time listening to Hao Jun about how to use the cloud to build your own app? I'm just very curious if this is your second time. If this is your first time listening to Hao Jun, maybe you can type 1. If you have listened to him for the second time, maybe you can type 2. Very, very curious. Maybe I'm just very curious. And
Sorry, I opened up the window, refreshed that. So type 1 if it's the first time, type 2 if it's if the second time you've been here. Okay.
Okay, then next week will be, besides Hao Jun, we also invited Darren. Darren will be sharing on legacy planning. So this March, we will have a lot of interesting topics coming up. Darren will be sharing on the 12th March, which is this Thursday. So not to miss out Darren Tan, which is one of the estate planning specialists, where he will share about equal distribution destroys family harmony. So stay tuned on our Telegram, and we'll keep you posted. Yeah, that's all from me, Hao Jun. Thank you so much.
Thanks, everyone. I'll see you all next week. Bye-bye. Good night.